What's up, everybody? Straight Shot Post here. Dale and Grace, as always. We want to talk this week about reconnecting with old friends and sort of getting a healthy reminder that at the end of the day, it's all about people, and all opportunities come from people. This was a really awesome piece of advice that was given to me by a good friend of mine, Jamal. He's a director, producer extraordinaire, and his career is really starting to make moves. Now, he's been hustling for 10 plus years, of course, doing this, and it's kind of awesome to see him come into his own. We had a great conversation recently about being able to do work that allows you to actually exercise all of your potential. And so it feels good to hear that he's being pushed that way, that he feels like he's growing as a storyteller and a filmmaker. We're doing some work with him right now for a pilot documentary, helping him prep for the edit. And when I said, hey, and he came in, he kind of immediately noticed that I was off. That honestly caught me off guard, because I'm pretty good about.
What did he say, though, specifically?
He just looked at me. He goes, you all right, man? You're like very, and he was trying to say like you're like a little all over the place. You know? That like I'm a little. I said, am I too high or too low? He's like, it's like you're a little polarized. You're a little both right now. You know? And he also saw that I had lost weight, which is not because I'm stressed. It's because I
can't work out because you're
stopped lifting. So I started fasting again. I dropped 10. I have a problem putting on weight, not losing it. Just the problem. It's the same thing like everybody else. Everybody always is like, oh, what a problem. Like, dude, if you're not happy with the way you look and your weight, it's the same problem. Like, you still I feel the same way you do, brother. Trust me. So, but besides that, yeah, it was just interesting. Like, he was very intuitive, and immediately noticed that. And I think I kind of needed it because I feel like I've been kind of hiding to myself how stressful it's been recently and how difficult things have been. And I tend to be the kind of person that can pull back and keep it for me because as a leader, I don't want to share that pain with everybody here. I need them to stay focused. I need them to stay aggressive and happy and fulfilled. And it was actually kind of really cathartic to have somebody be like, hey, bro, it's okay, And we're talking a lot about men being vulnerable, men, talking about their feelings. And FYI, I hope we can get a photo of him so people know this is he's like a big 6'4", 6'5", dark black dude. He is strong and has a strong personality, strong will. So definitely can be an intimidating figure for some. So I think having it come from him was something meaningful too, because I look to him as a figure of strength in my life, like someone that I look up to. Like, I want to have that grit, knowing what he's been through. I want to have that perseverance and that hustle to make things happen. But so for it to come from him to say, hey, it's okay, like, you all right, let's talk, was so fucking meaningful. I can't even express it, and the kind of person I am is I'm a listener too. So I listen, and we spoke and we had a great conversation. He gave me some great tips and some great feedback. The biggest takeaway being to remind myself that he knows how it is when we get upset, when we get angry, when the cards aren't rolling in our favor or the dice aren't rolling in our favor. It's like we want to pull back. We want to do it all ourselves. And he said those are the times where you should focus on your relationships, actually. So do the opposite of what you think and lean in and ask for help and go to others and strengthen those.
Which is so hard.
Of course it is, because you want to feel like you're coming and offering something valuable, like, and that you're coming from a place of strength. But I realized it is just pride and stuff. And it kind of was valuable. I was like, damn, maybe when there are these times where I feel trapped and I feel like I can't do anything, maybe I should default and say, let me go to my relationships and let me reconnect, strengthen. Because I feel like I'm in this place right now with the company where we're struggling and we're waiting for a few things to be finished before we can really start to try to even fix the problem we have. Like, we're working on fixing the problem, but we're waiting for, for assets to come to us so we can get to the next step. We're just in this weird place. It's not like we're not doing things, but I feel like we're not doing enough. And that's always the worst feeling for me, or that I'm doing the wrong things and wasting time. Right. But having this conversation with him just made me remember who I am, which I feel like is always what has to happen. I can do this. I know I'm good at what I do. I think it was nice for him to see our reel too.
Yeah.
Because he has taste, bro. He saw.
Yeah. He recognized.
Damn, y'all fucking you killed that reel.
Yeah.
And I was like, because it's one of those things when you're a creator, you spend so much time and effort trying to predict how somebody's gonna feel. You put all your heart and soul into something, and you just have no idea if it's gonna work or not. That feeling, that waiting feeling, hoping that you did good and just waiting to find out if you did. Oh my God, it's like been driving me maybe crazy. And I don't think I realized it. Today, I think I just felt the fatigue of the last week or two, of all the challenges that I'm facing piling up on me.
I personally I personally felt it this morning too, myself, like the stress of the week and the past 2 weeks. And I had to do like an active thing. I don't know, what do you call it? The kind of thing I learned in therapy, just like clearing my feelings and my brain from the sticky stuff. Yeah. It has been intense. Yeah.
But the way that we are, we're very much power through people. We don't really take the time to think too much about it. And I think that's what happens is like, maybe it's not bad, but it's like, it's accumulated fatigue. It spills over at some point.
Totally. I mean, I used to be like a bottle it up until I pop person, but now I'm like trying to,
you let out the steam a little bit.
And then I'm like, oh, it's time to pour out a little bit. And so, yeah. Sometimes there's no time though. When there's no time, that's hard. Sometimes you have
course, I feel no like, other option. Like what we were talking about. Also, what I was talking about with him too is about managing knowing that you can always go to that place. We could always go there. We could fucking pull the all-nighters. We could do it if we had to. But really trying to find like the right habits, because he's kind of an all-in person too, where he's like, I get obsessed about directing, but then I forget about my body or my relationships or my education or whatever. And then I might obsess over the other thing and then forget, like I have trouble keeping a holistic set of views intact. Whereas for me, I have a lot of routines and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out, where do I go all in? And with a business, it's very narrow. We sell video editing as a service. Like that's clear for branded content in particular. But a business has a million things you could do. Period. Do I spend time with the people in a chair? Do I work on our thumbnails for YouTube? Right? Do I deal with legal? Do I, did we pay the bills? Do I have to do finance and HR work today?
No, that's me.
With the interns. Do you know what I mean? But like, I really that's all. What's going on with sales and marketing? And so that's, look, when it's good, it's good. And when it's hard, it's freaking hard. But and it's one of those things where I tell myself the same thing I always tell myself, Dale, you chose it, be stoic. And I think that's why I don't have super high highs and super low lows, I have highs and lows, but generally it's never too extreme. And so I think I'm in that place where I'm like, damn, my body's starting to tell me, hey, this is hard, bro. Don't give up. I ain't giving up, but like, it's okay if you take a day to recognize that it's hard. Because I think what it's doing instead is it's coming out in unhealthy ways, right?
Like what?
I think I've been more removed emotionally, more despondent, more scatterbrained, you know? All right, Grace. So obviously I think it's good to be vulnerable and to, so in general, I think it's tough to talk about these things too, because I'm a positive person. So even just talking about negative emotions is difficult, right?
Yeah,
And it's
totally.
because I have a tremendous amount of gratitude. So I think I get to that place where I'm sure other people can relate, where it's like, I don't really deserve to feel this way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when I talk about this, a lot of people tell me, my friends and my therapist tell me that, they're like, you're a heady person. You're always just thinking about everything. That's, of course, you like think yourself out of feeling it, but you just literally just like turn off your brain and drop into what you're feeling and just like let your body feel it, and then it'll pass. But like until you do, your brain's going to be like pushing something down. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of just like, yeah, like my brain is simultaneously saying, yeah, this is stupid, like you're fine, but also, yeah, my body is like, no, I'm stressed, I'm in fight or flight. Like you can't deny that when your body goes into fight or flight and is like living every day like that. So yeah. I mean, how do I deal with stress? One of my go-tos is dancing, but that's just because I grew up dancing. It speaks to me. I literally physically, this feels so hippie when I say it. Mm-hmm. Feel the stress in my body. And I feel like when I start moving it around, like I can get it out of me. Yeah. That's how I get it out.
I used to play the drums, man. That just hits.
And then I do a little bit of, no, literally physically moving. It really gets it. Anyway, I feel like it gets it moving. And then I do my, things that I've learned of how to detach from these feelings and, come to peace with it. I honestly, coming to peace with it, like letting myself feel it is the biggest thing, because most of my life I was like, no, I'm not feeling that. And then that just backfires always.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like making sure that you can find a way to get some space. Because I think the trouble is that you're like, if I do feel it, can I get anything done? Also, right? Like you're in the middle of stuff. So, it's not.
But I had
to go home or to take a day, make sure you actually get what you need to refill the battery. You know what I mean?
Even this week, I had like a really big cry, like right before bed. I cried it was like intense, and it felt like, what? It felt like my body released. From like, what? It felt like my shoulders just like released, and I was like, and then I was like, it was only like 10 minutes, and then I was like, and then the next morning I felt great. So, yeah, I don't know from what, like, what?
I want to be able to cry on cue. Damn.
I honestly credit the acting training. Like it made me very aware of that stuff. I don't know.
You cried at what? At what? You cried?
I'm saying
you learned how to cry.
No, it just made me aware of like when I'm feeling something and where it is in my body and like how to conjure it or how to express it. It's like very manipulating feelings is acting. So I think that helped, even though I still can't like cry on cue on camera, but in the privacy of my own home. My issue is not crying on cue. My issue is being calm enough and relaxed enough in front of people. That's my thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm not surprised that maybe the stress has gotten to me a little more when simultaneously I haven't been able to really lift the way that I've wanted to. And
major.
then couple that with a new game coming out that I love a lot.
Major.
So
Yeah.
I took one good habit, and essentially replaced it with a bad one. Not bad one. Like, it's not bad to enjoy a video game.
It's just like
work
not
very hard to make sure I actually enjoy the video game and aren't using it as just this like emotional escape.
Yeah.
Which is good, but it's just like right now, I think I'm maybe missing some of the tools. You know what I mean? But it's getting warmer. I think taking a walk outside is going to be something good.
Yeah.
And then I do think this is just like a phase.
Of course. Part of me is like, I don't worry. Like, I notice the difference in mood, and it's like, it's not that it's sad, but I like feel for you. But I'm also like, yeah, I've seen you go through it and I know that you come out the other side. So I'm not concerned.
Yeah. I mean,
I've seen it time and time again.
My belief is unwavered, right? Like, I'm going to do what it takes.
Yeah. And it's just a rough patch.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it don't.
It doesn't mean it's not easy. Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It is so hard sometimes, but yeah, I just have to. Okay, reminds me of this. I was watching Tom Belay interview Tony Robbins, and they were talking about ice plunging. Tony Robbins jumps into like a ice thing every morning, and Tom was like, "I tried it and I couldn't do it. It was just too painful or whatever." Tony goes, "I know why you can't do it, because when you jump in, you're thinking about how bad it feels. When I jump in, I think about how good it feels when I'm going to get out." And I was like, damn.
That's a good one, yeah.
That is kind of what you have to sort of do. But Tony, in this situation, he knows he's going to get out, right? Or he believes. He has enough belief.
Right, yeah.
And so
it's easy to think you're not coming out, yeah.
And it's like that it's never going to end. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is remember, like, this is temporary, like everything else. If you do have a good business with the right people, and I firmly believe that. And I think that people that I respect see that too, which is meaningful, right? So it's not like I don't think I'm delusional about it. I'm doing my best to make sure that, like, hey, we are actually good, right? And then I look and I watch our reel and I'm like, I would hire this, and I'm very picky. And I'm just hoping that other people would see that too. But nobody's seen this stuff yet. We haven't actually been able to do the outreach that we want to do yet. We're so close. And I think I'm just trying to say, like, dude, we gotta just get there, man. Just be patient, just a little bit more patient. Just hold on a little bit longer. It's going to be okay. And that's what I'm trying to remind myself of. Guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Of course, Grace and I really do appreciate you guys giving us your time. If you like this video, if it brought you any value, please consider giving it a like, sharing it with a friend, and subscribing. It means a lot to us, of course. And as always, work hard, be nice, and keep changing. Thank you. Catch you next time.